All you're saying
No,
is
I am. I'm talking about reality directly.
You're not. You're not dealing with reality.
Okay, when
You're
I
not
say
all
reality
you're saying is
what
power
observed.
dynamics.
Wait, when
okay,
I say
what do you even mean by power dynamics? In
Yeah,
this
because
sense?
what
Are you talking about this as metaphysical, or are you talking about it as some sort of just social dynamic?
Well, everything is in relation to another. You know what Heraclitus said, right? Like a river you step foot in is not going to be the same when you step foot in later, right? Everything is relation to another.
Heraclitus.
Yeah, okay. Heraclitus is like the Greek fundamental, like one of the Greek fundamental like pre-Socratic philosophers. What do you mean you're dead? What is controversial about saying or like quoting Heraclitus?
You're fine, bro. He's just dumb. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, there's nothing.
So we go
Anyways,
into this.
my point is everything is in relation to each other. There is no I you can perceive of that exists outside of your own, right? That's impossible for you to prove.
Talking about oh God! I mean, I asked you for a metaphysics. You've been unable to account for it, so you said power dynamics.
Not unable. I said I reject metaphysics. Okay. You're asking me for something I disagree with.
You reject it. This shows how unsophisticated your outlook is. You're saying, well, I don't.
I'm unsophisticated because I don't believe in metaphysics. I don't need to
understand the nature of it. So this is what you're telling me. For fuck's sake, God damn it! You're basically making it's kind of like you are the pagan that the Christians want, because it's going to show. Okay, here's what paganism is. People who have this kind of unphilosophical outlook. Nothing that's kind of actually philosophical at all. All it is basically they're kind of parroting a bad understanding of Nietzsche.
Wait, there are tons of branches of philosophy that doesn't deal with metaphysics. I don't know why you're saying that. Like, there's a reason. There's
power dynamic. Tell me, what do you mean by that? Are you talking?
Yeah. So, for instance, will and right in the will to life and the will to power, right, where you have like these different entities that you observe enacting their will upon someone else, and that could be in any form, such as like a rabbit eating a carrot, as Nietzsche gives in Beyond Good and Evil, right? So, like, you don't observe the world, right, as like this objective look down on a map sort of thing. What you observe the world in is how things react to each other, how force is applied, how people succumb to things, or how they overcome things. You don't just fucking like, oh, this occurs objectively, and the metaphysics say so.
Oh my God, no one. This is not my opinion. You start from experience, and then from experience, you're trying to understand things in a deeper way. That's the point.
Yeah, you can understand how. Wait, power dynamics in the real world, society's humanity is very deep and intricate. It's not simple. It's complex.
Okay, so you are going to want to reduce everything to some sort of social power structure.
I'm not a deconstructionist. I'm a constructionist.
No. That is just me. So what you're telling me is power dynamics. You're wanting to reduce everything to some sort of power structure.
No. I said power dynamics for the sake of your simplicity, right?
Then tell me what your metaphysics is.
Wait, no. You didn't you cut me off, dude. Hold on a second. I use the term power dynamics so you could understand, but I don't actually mean those concepts. I mean, we could spend fucking hours going into everything and reading books and all the sources I have, right? But I'm doing this for simplicity for you and me and for everyone else in this chat, right? So I'm just using that term, but what power dynamics is nearly, not entirely, but nearly infinitely complex.
Okay, so you basically have an obscure notion of reality.
In what sense?
Okay, it's pretty clear. I'm asking you to then, from that, give me your underlying metaphysical principles. Go ahead.
I have no underlying metaphysical principles. I reject metaphysical principles.
Oh my God. Do you understand what metaphysics is?
Are you going to the same definition over and over again? Because I think I get it by now.
Okay, so you do not have any understanding of what the nature of reality is. That's what you're telling me.
Wait. Nature of reality. I've been talking about reality the entire time and what reality is.
Okay, then you do have a metaphysics. Tell me what that is then.
No, I don't. Okay.
Oh my God! Are you going to just quibble on stupid little terms? Do you understand?
Because you're using some stupid fucking definition.
Sakes, you don't. Okay, metaphysics is the branch of philosophy that deals with the nature of reality, specified into special and general metaphysics. Where do you get that definition from? So let's go into general metaphysics, ontology. What do you understand as the nature of being? Can you tell me that?
The nature of being. You're talking about existence. I've been talking about existence the entire time.
What the fuck is it for you?
I already told you.
Then,
like, dude, when you're talking about
okay, you're
observing
saying,
reality, wait, yeah, how do you know
what is
something
being for you?
exists?
What is
Wait,
being?
how do you know something exists? You observe it. How do you observe it? You see the change it enacts in the world around it.
God, I mean, this just form of paganism is just
Wait,
ridiculous.
what was unclear or doesn't make sense in that little line of logic for you?
Okay, so let me ask you this. Go into ontology. What's your ontology?
I just told you. Oh my God, I just told you.
Okay, can you fucking tell me specifically what it is? Go ahead. You said power struggle. Go into that in further detail.
Is this a debate? Are you guys one-on-one debating right now? What is this?
No, I'm trying to understand his shitty metaphysics.
I don't have metaphysics. I reject metaphysical propositions.
Oh my God.
It's a form of therapy. Just let it ride for a minute.
This is a discourse contest between pseudo-intellectuals, basically.
Yeah. Everyone's just retarded except for me, guys. Right.
Exactly. Everyone who doesn't accept Jesus Christ.
Dude, I'm telling you something. I'm trying to help you. You need to have a better metaphysics as a pagan.
No,
I don't. Not have. Okay, then basically you're just going to be. It's just going to be dismissed as nonsense. Look,
wait.
Yeah.
It's not true. Right, because we can still observe like the historical like effects of Christianity on societies and people, and judge it whether or not it's good or bad or powerful or weak.
Okay,
you don't need metaphysics to do this.
That only gets you so far. Okay,
no, it doesn't.
Let me explain this to you.
No, wait.
Hold on. Let me explain this to you real quickly. This can you shush. Let me explain this. That only gets you so far. Yes, I have that as well. I go from people like Nietzsche to Klages and also to Jung, this idea of archetypes and blood glow, that basically there's going to be certain things that resonate as a pagan that you're not going to experience as a Christian. You're not going to have. I'm going to assert that. I'm not denying that. But that doesn't get you to everything you need. You also need a stronger outlook on reality. And this is where something like Neoplatonism comes into play. Thank you, Squiddy. Because here's the reason why that Squiddy's saying that. Because my Neoplatonic argument creates problems for Christians with divine simplicity in the Trinity. Also, the concept of God is pure actuality and God having the free will to either create or not create the world. When all you can say is, I've got this Nietzschean outlook, you just promote slave morality, and that's it. Well, that's not going to fucking work.
Wait, that's not the only criticism.
I'm going to tell you something too, alt-hype, what fucking works about it. I can pull that off, and I'm telling you why. Look at this pitch.
Wait, honey, don't you?
So another thing, though, too, you got to fucking look like me, too, to pull that off. So when I'm making fun of these people as bugmen, because not a fucking single Christian or a single atheist has been able to pull off biking Giga Chad better than me. So if you want to go to this Nietzscheanism, you're going to also need to look like me as fucking well.
Well, that's fine.
Basically it.
That's fine. I'm not disagreeing with the last part, but what I'm saying is well, actually, don't you think it's a little funny how Christians would want you to believe the things you do? They want you to believe in the Neoplatonism. Don't you find that a little suspicious or strange?
No, they don't want me to believe in that. They fear that because basically now they have an argument that defeats them or creates problems.
Wait, what? If you feared something, why would you say that like that's better for them? Why would they say that you should argue against them, the thing that they fear? Why would your enemy want you to use a specific tool against them like that? What's the point?
I'm just saying
that doesn't ring a bell to you at all?
What are you talking about? No, they don't. They rather. Okay, let me ask you a question. Squiddy. Hold on. Who would you rather be against? Who would you rather have if you're a Christian? If you're a Christian debating, would you rather have someone like me that has the Neoplatonism or someone like alt-hype?
He already said you.
No, he didn't say me. He said who would you rather be debating?
Well, aren't you Nyklot or whatever? Whatever that name is.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what he said. You then. I'm reading the message. He said, as a Christian, Nyklot is far more formidable than dude. He's agreeing with what you're saying. Why would somebody who you are opposed to? I'm assuming you're opposed to Christianity, and maybe if not, then I may be misunderstanding this entire conversation. But if you're opposed to Christianity, why would your enemy want you to argue this point and agree with you on this point?
No, I don't want him to argue this. Me and Nyklot have had severe disagreements on the Trinity, on the nature of God, on all these different things. Like he was just going into how his conception of God is going to be a little bit different than mine. But I think that he brings far more to the table and far more. It's going to be a lot harder to argue against him than just the neo-pagan who's just going to say that Christianity or paganism.
I'm not a neo-pagan. Wait, I'm not a neo-pagan.
Okay, well, whatever you
what
want.
what I believe in is what like the Greeks believe in. I don't believe in like the gay like neo-paganism that's Christianity.
That's what Nyklot believes in. He believes in the Aristotelian, the Neoplatonic conception of God, basically.
Wait, but that's not written in the Iliad or the Odyssey. That's these are philosophers that were shit on by society. Well, not Aristotle.
No, they weren't.
So, no, yes, they were. Yes, they
Aristotle?
were.
Aristotle was a aristocrat in ancient Greece.
No, that's what I was saying. Maybe not Aristotle, but that's because he's also much tamer than Plato, and he is definitely more right than Plato.
You do know that also, as far as I think one of these Nietzschean accusations against Plato is a little bit silly, because Plato also in Greek means broad-shouldered. The guy was really very physical.
Yeah,
so
a lot of Greeks were.
Yeah, so this idea that basically, I know that, but the point is that the idea of Plato as being some sort of wussy, no.
I never said he was a wussy. I said his ideas lead to this sort of like weakness in society.
No, they don't. That's only if you misinterpret them. Evola is a Platonist Nietzschean.
Misinterpret or not, that's what happened. I'm sorry, but there is no. Oh, you guys are misunderstanding. You just don't understand.
Okay, so
that doesn't work.
Okay, so you telling me that you require Platonism to have slave morality? Fucking go up to Clubhouse. Talk to most atheists. Are you telling me seriously that you need Platonism? No, there are atheists now.
Say that.
I mean, if anything, the most slave-like morality, the most slave-like outlook that exists would be something like analytic philosophy, which is primarily atheistic.
So I agree. I think atheists are neo-Christians. They're Christ without Christ, or they're Christians without Christ. They believe in some sort of objective like scientism and goodness in the world. And they know they have like this
strict... that's not the reason.
Well, it's not the only reason, but that's a big part of it.
Okay, so the good thing about Nietzsche is the intensification of experience. That's probably the problem that happened within Christianity. Christianity limits these higher values because, to quote a Lord song, glory and gore go hand in hand. Christianity can't accept the glory, the gore, therefore it can't get the glory. It is true within the process of Christianization that people get weakened, softened. Yes, I agree with that. But I think to basically push that on Plato or Plotinus is really not fair or accurate based upon that. Sure, Christians like Augustine took Plato or Plotinus, but that doesn't mean that basically Plato and Plotinus caused that.
My face.
Hold on. I'm not saying that they caused it directly and that they knew exactly what was going to happen. I'm saying that the results of this are evident. Also, I posted a...
So just because there is a historic correlation, that doesn't mean that Plato and Plotinus caused this, that this was the cause of that.
Also, I posted an interesting video made by some Germans where they portrayed a discussion between Plato and Nietzsche, and I think it is actually pretty accurate to what both believe in, minus a few bits here and there, but I posted that. It's a good source in the side, but... Anyway,
I mean, you could have like a Platonism that isn't having life-denying values, and life-affirming values like Evola. I mean, when you're talking from Evola, his Platonism is where things like war and also sexuality come into play, that they're actually hitting transcendent principles. Platonism is not necessarily life, I
don't think Evola is life-denying. I think that's why I like Evola. I think he attempted to reinvigorate like Western Faustian like culture and aesthetics into like a declining Faustian society, but there's no hope.
Yeah. Also, you have to comment on something. Okay, number one, Echo, my earlobes are not connected. Number two, I have what's called an aquiline nose, a Roman nose. It's considered to be a strong regal feature. Read it up. It's called an aquiline nose.
Also, I've seen this meme 1,000 times, but the whole pagans that converted to Christianity, most pagans didn't get forced converted. Most pagans converted for political reasons. Clovis purely converted to Christianity so he could marry a Christian woman, and all of his subjects converted because he was their king. None of them were conquered, and that was like a majority of, almost a large chunk of, Western Europe at the time.
Is it not rather embarrassing that these very influential pagan figures just converted purely out of a whim?
Well, it's not out of a whim. It was political. It was out of a whim. It was political and organized.
Political is out of a whim. People don't abandon their faith
by definition, no, it's not.
Yeah,
and
it is.
Machiavelli goes deeply into how it's not just on a whim. Like what?
Okay, here's a way to understand this from more of a Nietzschean perspective. Okay, so the idea is this, that paganism was it's like herding cats. You can't do it. So the strong moral medicine of Christianity was kind of necessary to unite the people of Europe together, but at a serious cost. There's no doubt about it that Christianity puts the wolf into a dog. It puts the boar into a pig. That's just the case, and that's kind of the Nietzschean idea. And so this is where me and Ald are going to completely fucking agree with that. Yeah, I mean that's the negative. But somehow, it's easier to it was easier to unite dogs together than it was to unite wolves together.
Well, the Christianity that was sold to Europeans was heavily Germanicized anyways.
Yes.
Because the Christianity that exists in the desert where it came from is completely different than the Christianity that the early or the medieval Europeans were practicing. I mean, they interwove it into their power politics. Obviously, in the highest extent would be the HRE and the crowning of Charlemagne. Yeah. But still, I don't know. It's not a whim. If you think it's a whim, if you think politics is a whim, I mean, it's retarded. Every political thinker in history knows it's not a whim. I mean, even Machiavelli, the most he says is fortuna, right? But ultimately, you're not going to achieve anything based off fortuna alone, right? You have to have some level of planning and prowess. And that's what he advocates for. So, Clovis didn't just wake up one day and decide, oh, you know what? I'm going to be Christian. And then fucking do it. He wanted the marriage because he wanted to tie certain tribes together into all, obviously, in the Frankish, soon-to-be Frankish Empire.
Yeah.
And he could only do that through a Christian marriage, of which you only had to be Christian to do. And then again, all of his subjects converted because subjects follow their king. That's what they do.
Well, okay, so look, as far as this is concerned, this is how I would kind of understand this process of paganism, Christianity to atheism. So if you want to say kind of analytic philosophy is the ultimate growth, the end of this, is I would understand worse than the Christians is the analytic philosophy atheist, because all that is about limiting experience. Everything, if you've talked to these people, in a sense of everything is, what does this word mean or what does that word mean? Because they can't experience the world in a very intense way. So everything just meaning gets reduced to just semantic propositions. That's the point. Now, I do think Christianity as well is part of that process. I think in a certain way, I agree with Clogus in here where he calls something like the blood glow. There is something in the blood that deeply resonates that allows people to express, that understands these archetypes. I think if you're pagan as opposed to Christian, that means because you have a natural resonance for them. That's basically it. And there really is no communication to that to a Christian. It's just a Christian's not going to get that. That's it. So there's no point. So yes, I do think that the wolf gets turned into a dog through the process of Christianization.
Nietzsche be like, I have life-affirming values. Also, Nietzsche catches syphilis, fucking dies.
I don't see what that has to do with the point. So he fucked a prostitute and got syphilis. Who cares?
Well, I mean, look, he was a very timid writer and a very timid man. So
no, he wasn't.
Oh yeah.
No, he wasn't. No, he was famously jacked and ripped, and he constantly worked out.
Timid and weak.
What? No. When they did it, when they looked at his body after they died, they found that he was like fucking like I don't know how to say it. I was gonna say Super Saiyan. That's really gay and cringe and whatever. But like he was a fucking monster of a dude when they found when they looked at his body. He was not timid at all.
He had bad eyesight. That's the only thing that they're pushing.
Cat, right? You know, dying alone, syphilis-ridden, and not having.
He didn't die alone.
He died fucking alone and insane.
No, his sister was with him the entire time he died. Like he was on his mental incapacity. Dude, okay, look, the whole criticism against Medici through his life doesn't make any difference because when you actually read his works and what he wrote about his life, like he loved his life, he loved life itself. He was life affirming. As the other guy in here said, when we're talking about life affirming, Nietzsche was the most life affirming person I think it's probably ever existed. Right?
Oh yeah,
and he wrote extension.
That is why Nietzsche had to write his own fanfic of the Bible. self-insert himself, right?
Well, because because he wanted to reevaluate all values. He was trying to reevaluate all values.
Oh yeah, he's such an edgy and forward-thinking guy. So brave.
Edgy? I mean, I don't know why you're saying that. That's not even a real criticism.
Look, I'm just saying he's like a pizza cutter. All edge, no point. That's the end of it.
Wait, what? He had several points. I gave you one of his points. You just ignored it.
Look,
I would have to say, okay, Form. I think there's two main. I'd have to start out with
when he shits out like the average schizo post that I can go anywhere on the internet.
He didn't schizo post. Read his first few works on the Greeks, dude. None of it was a schizo post.
Okay, so Form, you do. I don't think you kind of understand because this is where
I'm just saying it's trash. It's garbage.
That's all you're saying. You don't actually have any points to your argument. You're just saying a platitude.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't even think this guy's read Nietzsche. To be honest, I doubt he's read him. So
look, Nietzsche, if you don't think Nietzsche wrote mainly for himself rather than anyone else, you don't understand Nietzsche. Like he was fully self-absorbed, right?
Wait. Okay, what's your?
Hold on.
I'd agree.
Hold on. What is your problem with Nietzsche's philosophy? Okay, so number one, let's go into his concept of nihilism, which is higher values to value themselves. How do you understand that?
Like it's self-contradictory in multiple.
Can you tell me how do you understand higher values to value themselves?
Oh, his higher values, his values in which these things are the slaves and these are the masters, and it is in which
that's not what it.
Well, look. If you want to cut me off and you want to do your look at me, I'm the Superman type thing, go ahead. That's fine, man.
Well, I'm just telling you don't understand it. So, I mean, what's the point of having you go on a couple minutes just rambling? Higher values are.
Look, if you don't think I have a point and you think I'm just rambling, look, then don't give me the time of day. Do what Nietzsche.
Well, you didn't give any points. You just said a platitude. You just said it's dog shit, and then that's it.
Oh, I didn't critique anything else. No.
No, you said he writes for himself, but that doesn't mean anything.
Look, it isn't like I was going to elaborate on that. No, it's all cool. It's all cool, man.
Okay, well, elaborate. What do you mean? What do you mean by he writes for himself? What writing of his is evident of that?
Look, dog. The ship has sailed. You don't want to have a
I'm
conversation.
asking you. I'm just asking you right now.
Look, your other boyfriend in the group,
Okay, so you don't actually want to say because I'm giving you the chance to say it and you're refusing to say it.
I already said it.
No, you didn't. I'm asking you now. Which one of his works are you even referring to? Did he leave?
Yeah, he left.
I guess so. It's retarded.
I mean, the point that Nietzsche does get at is, I guess, seriously, is the concept of nihilism. And nihilism is the higher values to value themselves. And the idea is basically this. He believes that we as humans require higher values in our life to have a meaningful existence. And without that, there's going to be nihilism. Now, the issue could be how much of that's because of modern society, how much of that because of Christianity. I think it's a combination of all of these. But when you have a world which is too peaceful, too comfortable, and all of that, you don't have struggle. You don't have the will to power. Without the struggle, without the will to power, you don't have this resistance that's overcome. You don't kind of have this meaning. You don't have these higher values, ones that kind of create tragic conflict that are very intense. And so you're going to get, you get nihilism.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm glad you clarified because Nietzsche was very anti-nihilist. He wrote extensively about how he hated it. But yeah, I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, I guess we agree on a lot. So what the hell? We just had a bit of a but it's good. We had a good bit of a discussion at the beginning. It's all cool.
I'm just antagonistic.
Yeah, don't worry about it. A lot of people think I get upset. I get worked up, but then about a minute later, I'm cool. So
Nyklot's just passionate. That's all.
Yeah, but no, I don't hold grudges unless someone's being a jerk. If it's a disagreement in a conversation,
unless it's a debate for atheists, then you're gonna.
Well, no, my issue with them is the dishonest tactics that they do with the debate bro atheist. That's it. It's just, I mean,
I just view atheists as next level Christians.
Well, I'm talking. I'm talking about a certain set of tactics that certain individuals have used that they're under the debate bros. I mean, a guy was using that earlier.
I've read Schopenhauer's Art of Being Right once, and I know how to argue everything.
Yeah, no, a perfect example. The guy I was talking to, what was his name again? He was actually using all of the debate bro tactics and refused to give it a theater.
Trick. Yeah. His name was Trick.
Oh, Trick. Yeah, Trick was basically straight. This was as much as he was straight from the AY script. It was just straight AY script.
Hello, what were you guys debating about?
Oh well, there's
several different things.
Yeah, several different things.
Can I bring up a topic?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So I wanted to bring up a topic about the Abrahamic religions.
Okay, go ahead.
I believe that all three religions, Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, are all following the same religion of Abraham. And since they have the same religion, they have to have the same God.
Okay, they believe in the same God, but the question would be that there's some people within those religions that will say no, because they'll say something like Trinity and Tawhid are so incompatible that they'll believe that it's a different concept of God.
Can I teach you why all three religions are Trinitarian?
Why are we all Abrahamic? Tell us why we're Abrahamic.
Okay, why are Jews and Muslims Trinitarian when especially Muslims have a doctrine called Tawhid and they're very much against the concept of a Trinity?
Because you weren't supposed to believe in Christ. You're supposed to believe in the Mashiach. Do all three religions believe in the prophecy of the Mashiach? Not Christ, the Mashiach.
No, they all have a concept of a Messiah, but it's different than. Okay, so let's just use the English word Messiah. They all have a concept of a Messiah, but they're understood differently in the religions.
So if all three of you have a Messiah, all three of you have the same belief that when the Messiah comes, you're supposed to follow your Messiah and do as he teaches, correct?
Yes, but they have different ideas on what that Messiah is going to teach.
They have different rules.
The Christians and Muslims, the concept of the Messiah is completely different.
No, they actually have Jesus Christ as the Messiah. Jesus Christ is the Messiah for Islam and Christianity. The Islams just don't believe Christ is the Son of God. They still believe in him as the Messiah.
Yeah, but the Messiah is a different concept in Christianity than what it is in Islam.
Jesus Christ said that they prophesied him, and he went off of the prophecy of the Mashiach to give himself validity. That's why Jesus Christ was the Mashiach. He went off of the prophecy of the Old Testament of the Messiah. That's why he was.
Yeah, let me ask you a question. If I walk up to something that's a cow and I call it a horse, another person calls a pig a horse, we can use the same name, but we mean something different. So the idea is when the Muslims and Christians are using the concept of Messiah, they mean something completely different. They don't mean the same thing. The way that the Christians understand the Messiah is not the same way the Muslims do.
That's what I'm teaching you. All right, I'm going to go a little bit further back. The Abrahamic part. The reason that you're Abrahamic is because Abraham had two children, Ishmael and Isaac. From Ishmael, God promised him a nation, and that came Islam. The second born is Isaac. From that,
I'm familiar with
a nation. So they have the same religion and they have the same bloodline. Okay, they don't have different bloodlines. They have the same father, different mothers.
Okay,
so not only do they have the same religion, they have the same blood.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. What's your overall point you're trying to make, that they're the same religion?
Yeah, that they all follow the same religion, that they're all Trinitarian because they all have prophets made the same through the will of Allah, the will of Yahweh, or the Holy Spirit, the will of God. That is how prophets are made in all three religions.
Okay, let's go to one point here. You're saying they're all Trinitarian. Now, obviously, Muslims and Jews would disagree with that completely. So why do you believe that they're all Trinitarian?
Do they believe in the Mashiach?
What the hell does that have to do with there being a Trinity?
They don't believe in you don't believe in the Trinity. You believe in the Mashiach. The prophecy of the Mashiach is what gave Jesus validity.
Didn't you say they're all Trinitarian? What do you mean by Trinitarian then? If you don't mean by Trinitarian,
all three religions believe in the Mashiach. All three religions believe in the will of God. That is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, that's a very idiosyncratic usage of the term Trinitarian, because when most people use the word Trinitarian, they're talking about the Godhead having three persons, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. So your understanding of Trinitarian is unique to you.
No, the Son is the Mashiach, right? Jesus was the Mashiach?
Okay. Now, assume even for Muslims, which is true, that they understand Jesus as the Messiah. Let me ask you a question. Would that make them a Trinitarian because Muslims believe Jesus is the Messiah?
No. Let me ask you a question. If Jesus Christ was not the Mashiach, like if you didn't believe in Christ, would you believe in the Mashiach? As a Christian, are you supposed to believe in the Mashiach?
I don't know where this is going. Okay,
no,
so
the reason that you don't know is because I do know. So I'm telling you that what gave Jesus validity wasn't that he was born and that he said, "My name is Jesus Christ. I am the Son of God." Is that he went off of the prophecy of the Mashiach, that he would be born on the bloodline side of David. Okay. All that extra stuff was the prophecy that prophesied Jesus Christ. That is why there was three wise men waiting for Jesus Christ to be born. He was prophesied through the prophecy of the Mashiach. That is why you don't believe in Christ. You believe in the Mashiach. Jesus Christ is your Mashiach. So you believe in Christ as the Mashiach, but he is not.
Small point.
That's what I'm trying to
I don't think, and I could be corrected if I'm wrong, but I don't think it was just three wise men. I thought there were multiple people, but there was only three gifts.
It was three wise men. Three wise men told a king, and the king
I think
wiped out
multiple
entire
people,
two
more than
generations.
three, but there was only three gifts, I thought.
The king wiped out an entire two generations trying to kill Jesus Christ. Any child under the age of 2 was slaughtered throughout the whole city, trying to kill Jesus Christ in his birth. So that's what I'm saying. What gave Jesus validity wasn't that he was Christ. It was that he was going off of the prophecy of the Mashiach. He even used it. I was prophesied in the Old Testament. You, who is not older than Moses, they laughed at him and compared him to Moses because he did not have a beard and shit. So they were literally making fun of him when he was. All three of your religions believe in the prophecy of the Mashiach. All three of your religions have prophets made the same way, through the will of God, through the will of Allah, through the will of Yahweh. That is how prophets are made in your religion. Am I wrong? All three of you believe in the Mashiach. All three of you believe in the will of God and the prophets being made like that. You have the same religion for a reason. You're all Abrahamic. There is no difference in your religion. Whether you're Jewish, Muslim, or Christian, you're following the Abrahamic religion. Does that make any sense to anybody? Same religion, same God, same